Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my channel. I hope everybody's having a good day. This is much too late for me to be doing since I've been up for so long. That's okay. No rush. Easy Saturday. So, I went to General Collective this morning, and then this afternoon I've set aside time to do the earth signs. I know it's going to be a little bit, so I did a little schedule for myself for today. I have 3 days off, so it'll be nice. And this one, I don't want to make it too long because it's starting to get hot. So then I can have the AC on for a little bit in between. I think that'll be good. Thank you, Spirit. Oh, hello. Wheel of Fortune and King of Air. These have turned into like my vibe cards. I don't really like to use them in like the meat of the reading for some reason. This king always makes me think of Robin Williams. So this would be the King of Swords. What else for our opening messages, Spirit? What else does Collective need to know about a new deck? Maybe this isn't right. I'm getting the that's not right that came out on accident. That's why they're not giving me more. Thank you. What's banging over here? See, I move things. Okay, Spirit, good morning. Good morning. Everything's now after the bell. Please tell me some opening messages for Collective of what they need to know today. What situation, what story will we find out today? Would you like me to pull them? See, it all depends on who's coming through, how they come out. Yeah, I'll just pull 3 cards, Spirit. I know this deck is working with me today because it was good during the pre-shuffle. Maybe they're tired. How's that for confirmation? Wheel of Fortune came back out, so that's supposed to be here for sure. This is definitely going to be a predetermined life changing event, like changing the course, like a fork in the road. Nine of Earth. You know, self-made independence. Kind of, you know, independent. I don't like to exaggerate and say like independently wealthy, but comfortable. You know, and everything you have, you got yourself. I love this Wheel of Fortune card. It gives me wicked, like, Bioshock vibes. Okay. So, apparently you didn't want me to pull cards. You were just taking your time. Can I have one more, please? I'm going to use my judgment and not take those ones that fell. They were face down too, so I think this is the one that was trying to come out. And that's love. I think it's strength. In the traditional, yeah, right away. I'm interested to see if this is telling me what's happened, you know, what's brought us to this reading, or what you have coming in for you. I like this card too. So this is strength. This is card of Leo also. I want to say the Wheel of Fortune is Sagittarius. I'm going to check that for a second. Do you mind? Do you have a minute? I just have it in this book right here. I know some of them, but I don't know all of them yet. I have to get new, maybe a new one of these to transfer it over, because the string has broken. Let's not burn the house down. Where are the candles? Okay. Okay. It doesn't really say Sagittarius per se. But it is fire for the element in Jupiter for the planet, which is both of my ruling, planet and element. So Sagittarius energy, I guess. Nine of Earth is Earth energy. No reason that I'm bringing up the zodiacs. I just, because the two major arcana be in there, I always kind of test my knowledge, I guess. So what I'm getting is definitely there has been, or there is, a change, in your life. Like, it's like the next chapter. It's not a tower. It's not gonna be like whoosh, like a destructive good or bad thing. It's like the next chapter. But it's something that it's definitely like a destiny like moment. Like, this is a moment in your life that would always be there. Whenever you learned whatever lessons you need to do to get to that, think if you're playing a game, think if you're playing like Zelda, you can't open certain maps until you get certain skills. You gotta fight a lot of enemies, simple terms. So whatever path you've been on has now brought you to this little checkpoint. They're like checkpoints, most. And I feel like, the way I feel like the Wheel of Fortune is almost like, kind of like determining if it's a good turn or a bad turn. You remember those, pick your own adventure books? Like, if you want, Vanessa to go to the dance with Johnny, go to page 392. And if you don't want her to, go to page 3. And then it would continue on. It was pretty cool how they did it. If you've never seen them, it was it was fun. That's kind of how I take the Wheel of Fortune. So, like, whatever your choices have been that got you up to this part, this is kind of like a culmination. Like, okay, well, your life is changing in these ways now, no matter what, because you have done or haven't done X, Y, Z. Okay, these are like assessment times. Even if it's a good time, that's what we have to learn. Even in our accomplishments, even in our good times, don't just sail through and not think about it a little bit. We tend to dwell on things that didn't work out the way we wanted them to, because we're trying to think about, our mind's just automatically trying to think of like how to fix it, even if we can't, even if it's like irrational to think that way. Your brain's trying to like soothe it and like fix it, problem solve. So when you succeed or win, you don't have any reason to think about that. You've done it. Check off the list. So learning to reflect that way is also good. You don't want to like obsess over anything. There's a balance to both. Yes, you should reflect when something goes wrong and be like, okay, what happened? How can I learn from this? Again, I always say the severity of situations are vast, so certain things you can get up and kind of move on from. Certain things are going to take some time. So I feel like in this little checkpoint, you have gained your independence. I feel like you're kind of like on your way to Queen of Pentacles, which to me and I don't know if this is fact or not, but it doesn't matter because that's how I read the card, so that's how I'm going to get the messages, if that makes sense. The next to this person would be like the Queen of Pentacles, which is like, I feel like she's the most well-rounded, solid queen. So then I feel like she's kind of like the last queen before you get to the Empress, because I feel like the Empress is like all the queens in one. So you learn the lessons and you kind of graduate, and you go through the kings too, I feel like, because queens are like, once you get to that point, yeah, your queen status, but you kind of learn how to move that way, using the attributes you had to get there, right? Learning your worth, you know, standing in your power, but then when you're a king energy, you know your power. There is no question. It's like you really have healed and succeeded and are solid. Queen of Pentacles is the most solid of the queens. So that's kind of the trajectory I feel like you're on. That's how I take it. And the strength, you know, the strength card isn't always, like, any strength card you see usually has an obvious gentleness to it, taming of the beast type of theme. So I do take strength as being like, yes, you have the strength to get through whatever you went through to gain your independence, but you learned it correctly. You learned it and it rooted, rather than putting up walls and calling it strength instead of avoidance. You know, and that's why you've moved forward, because you've learned that there's strength in facing issues and sitting in things that are uncomfortable, and not healing isn't avoiding the things that trigger you and say you don't get triggered anymore. You know, if things that trigger you hurt you, yes, of course, avoid the physical thing. But you still kind of have to work on it so it doesn't, right? Depending on your circumstances. And I'm feeling like you did that. I'm feeling like you found a way to be strong and do what you had to do and learn your lessons and put in the work gracefully. And now I think that's why this is love in this card. This card is love. And now I think you gained enough strength to love yourself properly, that you know you're always strong. You always have the confidence in yourself, so you never feel without, or you never feel like you're looking for someone to help you get through something. Do you know what I mean? Like, there are times, like, some people, you know you have it in you, or you look at somebody who's struggling, and like, I've seen you get through harder things, and it's like, sometimes they just need to be carried a little bit for a little ways, to just like, okay, catch a breath for a second. And I think that part of being strong is learning to also recognize that and learn to ask for it, and all that goes along with that, you know. We're not in a therapy session here right now. But that's what I'm getting. That's the vibe of whomever I'm pulling for today. You are like, starting a new chapter of your life with your independence, in a comfortability. You're comfortable with yourself more so than you ever have been, I feel like. Yeah. Which is great. That doesn't mean you're 100% healed and you're floating around like a sage, right? No, it's not. I get triggered, you get triggered, we're human. Ton of water. That's awesome for this. This is a happy fun time, rainbows and unicorns card, and happy Buddha. So, and under that's the High Priestess, for what it's worth. Alright, so this is a vibe. I'm going to just kind of have it over here to reference in case anything nods it back to it. I put them away last time. I was like, I wish I had those out. Because as I was watching the reading, I'm like, well, that could have went back to that, but I'm like, out of sight, out of mind with everything. Like, that's why I can just like close the door and be like, I'll deal with that later. My room's starting to bother me though now. It's pretty messy. My like knowing where everything is not working anymore. So that's a thing. That's definitely on the list today. I have a holding canopy I got to set up probably like 2 months ago. I started this. I put up one and I liked it, but it wasn't like, it could be better. So I went out and I got the set of 4 really long white curtains for like $25 at Marshall's. Awesome, but they're still in the package because I can't clean my room. I can't do it. I kept saying to my daughter, like, it just doesn't bother me enough yet. I can just leave it. And I'm like, I don't want to deal with this. I have other things I want to do. This is not important. I'm like, I wish I could just keep it clean. And I wanted to deal with this every once in a while, but I can't. I try. I will get it. It will be immaculate. It will be beautiful. I will go in there one day, like 2 weeks later, and be like, who the fuck did this in here? And it's just shit everywhere. What I need to do is I need like 2 trash barrels in there. Now I have my own clothes hamper instead of my daughter and I were like sharing like a really big, like family size one, for like, you know, like towels and stuff we could wash together. And I need things that contain things right where they're supposed to be, or they will go where I would think it's supposed to go, right? So that's what I do sometimes when I notice. I'm like, oh, I keep putting this here. That means I think this should be trash here. It's worked. And once I notice it, I don't always notice it though. I'm fine, everything's fine. It's starting to get hot, we need to move this along. I wish it was like, I'm sure there is. I'm gonna say like a silent air conditioner. Like, yeah, there is, Maureen. You can't afford it yet. Let's get these views up, guys, okay? We get these views up, I can sit and I can do readings all day long. And the comfort of the air conditioner. I'm realizing I didn't do any kind of like, hey, this is what I'm all about introduction video. I might have like last year when I started it, but it's not, it's not relevant now. It's all deleted, all those videos. I do that. Sorry. I do it on all my social media. I'm like, I don't feel like I'm this person anymore. I'm gonna delete this. No, I just wanted, for YouTube, I just wanted it to be like consistent, and I knew I was switching things, so. And it's a whole different vibe. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. I didn't ask anything yet, but I appreciate you. Totally horses. Clearly something wants to be said. Alright, given the vibe of this reading, let's do a little past, present, future. Alright, so we'll start with what is Collective's current energy, please? Ooh. I would open my window. Maybe I will a little bit, but other people's air conditioners are on, so I'm sorry. Yeah, if people start talking out there, I'll close it again. But it's too hot. I think I should move that a little bit. Sorry, guys. I just feel like there we go. It gets too dark when there's too much light. But I might not be able to help that. Okay. Okay, thank you, Spirit. We're gonna do, what is, collective, oh, that feels better. What's, collective's current energy? What is the current, situation? Thank you. I'm gonna look for like 2 more cards for a current situation line, please. You know what? I'm gonna take that back. I liked it the other day, how the reading went when I just laid it out, so I'm gonna do that. People probably hate me, who hate people who ramble. Sorry. I should figure out a way to like do specific videos that I just get to the reading and stick to it, and ones that I can like freestyle. Maybe I'll figure out a schedule of something or some way to indicate. I'm talking shit in this one, guys. You could probably tell by the time, honestly, because some of them are like reasonable. If I get past like an hour and a half, settle in, because things are being said. And well, I'm going to do one more for something significant to pay attention to in this time. Thank you. Ooh, 4 of Wands. Everybody gets excited about the 4 of Wands. Like they call it the bouquet. I feel like that's how some readers, they're like, 4 of Wands. It's my twin flame card. I love the readers I watch. One of them said there was another reader like talking about him. I'm like, is there like tarot reader like, I don't know, comp? I don't, like, is it really that serious? I suppose it would be, right? But why would you talk crap about this person? He doesn't do anything to hurt anybody. He's just having fun, doing his thing. I don't know. People are weird. People just like controversy. I can't stand it. There's no reason. That is just like such a waste of everybody's time. I digress. So, for your current energy, my loves, we have 2 of Pentacles, 3 of Cups, the Moon, and 4 of Wands. And that's coming off everything we just talked about. So this is where we're going to find out, well, you know, has this already happened? Or is the wheel turning now? And on the other end of it, you're going to feel that independence and, you know, deep inner gentle strength. Gentle strength. It takes a lot of strength to be gentle. It takes a lot of strength to be gentle. Anyone can yell. Anyone can be aggressive. I used to yell. I had a very quick temper. I had no emotional self-control. Yeah. And the strength people try to kind of like portray when they're projecting that aggressive like behavior subconsciously, or just that's how they are, that's how they were raised. Like my mother yelled, so my mother yelled and I didn't take it as anything, so I just assumed me yelling would be the same to like my kids. I have one who I can say anything to her, kidding like or otherwise, and she's like, and I have one who it really affected, and me being unaware in the moment, I had no clue, because obviously if I knew, you know, I wouldn't have continued. I would have kind of like had a sense of me to look at the situation, but I didn't. I was totally just in my own day-to-day life. And just assumed because I got it, she would get it. You know what I mean? You can't. Learning is a process. However, gentle strength is such a skill. So 2 of Pentacles, and you know, you're definitely trying to like find balance, yin and yang of the situation. Three of Cups coming together, community, friendship, celebration. Then we have your Moon, which is it's definitely things being illuminated, and it's definitely you, I feel like, taking time to walk that path and see what that illumination is. Whereas I feel like maybe in the past, even if, unless it was full-blown sunlight on something that you didn't want to acknowledge or look at or deal with or start or whatever, you wouldn't really have, you're like, oh, I didn't see it, right? I didn't see that. I have my glasses on. Interesting, I wore my glasses today. So I feel like it's, I think that's part of, you know, your evolution into the Wheel of Fortune. So I think you're currently moving. This is what I think it is. I think you're currently in the wheel. So I think that's why now with these things that the moon's kind of illuminating, circumstances have it that you can't avoid the path. You have to walk the path that the moon is shining light on to get to where you're going, wherever that is. And I think where that is your, like, stability. Something about this Three of Cups, I feel like, is nefarious. So it's like, Three of Cups, right? So it's usually coming together. It's usually like friendship. It was like your friends celebrating. I feel like they're luring you. Because the one in the back's like, don't you still like this cup? And the other two were like, yeah, look at this cup, don't you still want this cup? Maybe the Two of Pentacles is, what you're trying to figure out. I think you're trying to figure out if these people are, genuine. Because, the thing that's notable, like I said, the Four of Wands, I think it's just, like, your stability. So something notable about this time is I think that's your Wheel of Fortune. Like, this is your, I think it's already moving, so I think you're going there, but I think this is like the last leg. We'll find out when I do the future. But, is to, again, life changes. Like, you have to make the decision, right? You can't just kind of like float along into this and just be like, oh, I'm here. It's kind of like you have to, the universe is saying like, okay, I'm going to show you all of the things you need to know about this. You have to look at it. You have to look at it, or you're gonna get stuck at the top of the Ferris wheel. I'm not letting you down. I'm not letting this wheel continue until you look at the information. You have to read the user manual first before I give you this. Because if you're coming into your stability, you know, this is, I told you, a lot of change has been coming up a lot lately. If you watch my readings, you see it. So if you're coming into your stability, to me, this is gaining your independence with gentle strength. So you might have people, okay, the Two of Pentacles is it too. Yeah. You have people who depend on you in a way. But in order for you to gain your Ten of Cups, your happy rainbow ending, for you to first get to this checkpoint of your Four of Wands, of your stability, your home life, your foundation, which is yours, because we're talking about your independence. That's the chapter we're coming into, your independence. You've worked, and the universe says you're responsible enough to do this. Okay, so the moon's illuminating a path, and on this path you're going to walk down it, and there's going to be things you have to assess whether or not it's sustainable in your new independent world, because you have to sustain yourself first and foremost, correct? Okay. So you may have people that you take care of. If you're old enough, it might be like adult children who are still children because they've like never left. So you still kind of have that dynamic. So you just automatically, it's not a bad thing. It's just that's what you've done for 20 years, yeah, right? Maybe not 20. That's young. They could still be. They could still be home with no judgment. That's what you've done for 30 years. It could be friends who don't want to put work into their life because they know you can fill in the holes for them. My mother used to say it to me all the time, Maureen, don't nickel and dime me. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, don't spend all your money and then use mine to fill in for what you couldn't get. And I was like, I see. Except, like, can you give me a pack of cigarettes? Which is like $2, right? Not a lot. Oh, can you give me some milk? Back then it was probably like $2. Not a lot. You might have those $2 people. $2 people. Pack of cigarette people. And again, I'm not saying you dislike these people. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with your relationships and friendships as a whole. I'm saying your patterns are such that everybody is just comfortable in these roles, in these dynamics. And if you want your stability, these are the things you have to address with your gentle strength. And I think you're kind of figuring out how to do that. Because again, I don't think this big, the Wheel of Fortune, I don't think it's big and loud. I don't think it's like a new job. I think you're steady. You're like on your path. I just think this is the next step, like you're ready for the step, and part of the step is weeding out things that aren't going to propel you on the next chapter. This past chapter you were on was trudging, right? Putting in the work, saving your money, making your goals, taking classes, networking, whatever you're doing, or none of those things, whatever it looks like for you. Maybe you're streaming, maybe like you're on Twitch, maybe you're on YouTube, maybe whatever it is. This has been the work up to this point, and now it's almost like, okay, you have that confidence, like, I know I'm worth this, I know my worth, I know where I am in life, and you're not being forced to make these changes and kind of acknowledge these things because you're starting to see it. Like, you're like a little elevated above the lawn now. Like, maybe you're on the first step going up to the house, and so now you can kind of have a little higher view of the lawn. You're like, oh, right now there's little dandelions that are popping up, right? If that's what you see, is just like the dandelion. The higher you get up, the more you see that's like rooted weeds, like a bush, you know. It's like right now you just see little dandelion heads. You're like, oh, that's no big deal. You can cut those down. That's when you start weeding through and really getting through like the negative influences and toxicity and things that don't make you feel good and things that might be hidden under the surface that you haven't dealt with, like the roots of the weeds, you know. This is what you're on now because you're strong enough to do it. Before you weren't, and you needed those people as much as they needed you, because you needed to feel needed, right? Because when we have abandonment issues, we take care of whoever we can, because it makes us happy when they're happy, because it's kind of like they needed us, not, you know what I mean? We're looking for that gratification of love and acceptance and being needed, and we kind of feel that where we can because we're human, and even if we don't want it, aren't ready for it, we need it. Right? I know this. So even when I'm like, I'm not ready to deal with anybody in a relationship, I'm filling my emotional needs absolutely selfishly at work by taking care of these people. I said that to somebody the other day. I'm like, well, it's kind of selfish. I'm like, because I'm getting something out of taking care of you too. So it's funny, but it's true. 100% true. I'm getting that feedback of care and kindness and love and empathy, and I am, so I can sustain, and I'm being creative. So that's dealing with that kind of aspect of like the passion side that I'm not looking erratically for. So I'm not, you know, being promiscuous or something because you're trying to fill that passionate burning side with something, and it's gonna be one or the other. You're gonna be creative or you're gonna be hot pants. Well, I mean, not necessarily cut or dry, that's it. Please don't get me wrong, but it's along the lines. And if you have that personality that you need to stimulate yourself, you're gonna find a way. So again, I think that's where you are right now. You're seeing the weeds pop up, like, yeah, that person only is around because they know I got paid. That person is only around, only wants to like ride to work or something because they know I got paid, so they know I'm going to go to Dunks, or you know what I mean. You start to see like how people kind of roundabout, not really, not outwardly, they wouldn't like maybe aggressive, some people will, but the most people in your life every day have found ways to like have microaggressions and take advantage of you in like little ways. You do it too. I'm not saying you don't. We all can fall into this because we all have survival instincts. So if something works to help us survive, we're gonna remember like, oh, they responded this way. when I did this last time, so let's do this again. Or let's not do this again. Let's ask somebody else. So yeah, basically that's what I think you're doing. I think you're like, wait a minute. Do you want to... Are you inviting me out to celebrate nothing? What are you celebrating? Not you, them. Or are you inviting me out to, keep me in these negative patterns, to keep me stuck where I am? Because the negative patterns give us the most boost of like endorphins and oxytocin, doesn't it? That's why we're addicted to them. So I think they're scrambling. What do they respond to? So they're going to be the people who are trying to hold on to you and not walk with you and want to put in work and better themselves and be on the same level as you, but doing something different, right? Like, oh shit, what's up? You're here too? That's how you're going to find your people. All of a sudden they're going to pop up and be like, oh, so you're doing work and you actually care about yourself too. Let's do this shit together. That's how how it happens. You're under the grass, chilling. Yeah, and all of a sudden you take that one, you're like, there's a step here. Pop, whoo. And you start killing the weeds. And then someone else comes up and they're like, oh shit, I'll help you kill those weeds. I don't want those weeds. That's how you find your people, your community. So some of these people might pop up there with you. You can't worry about it. You can't keep going down. They're like, are you coming? You have to be like, I'm leaving. I'm doing, not literally maybe, but like, I'm doing this. This is my plan. These are my goals. I'm bettering myself. I'm not going to be doing this shit anymore. Take it or leave it. And then do it. You don't have to like block everybody. You don't have to do that if you're strong enough to just be like, nah, I'm good. I'm not going to do whatever it was that kept me doing the same thing for all this time. I'm going to do something different and not let them keep you, because it's very easy to do that. You just have to stick to your goals. And like I said, either people are going to stay like, oh, whatever, and then gravitate and find other people to fill your spot of someone who's gonna chill and hang out and smoke with them all day and fucking, whatever. Or they're gonna be like, I wanna do that too. Maybe not the same thing, but same feeling, same aspiration, same goals, same moving forward instead of staying still. A lot of people in different mindsets definitely feel like, I just have to graduate high school and it's like whatever, and have been doing whatever since then. Literally. Not necessarily people I know, but definitely people I know, people I've known, people I knew, people I went to school with, people who I know have gone to school with, people I know, different examples I have, but it's like, usually if you're, under a certain financial bracket, it's like huge if you graduate high school. And it's like, alright, you're good, go work, go do whatever, go sell drugs, and wing it for the rest of your life. Just graduate high school. Again, not everybody's like that, but, this is the example of when a lot of the people around you are in the same mindset, because you've been in the same mindset together. That's when you pop up and you notice and you're like, oh. And then again, if people start coming up with you, long-winded for no reason, but that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing, I have to tell you. You're on the first step. Even the moon here, like, there's a person walking up the middle of it. You're like in the middle, like you're on the first step. Like you can like just see over those trees and figure out what's trees and what's like demons in the shadows or whatever. Right. Which, something notable, again, you're working towards your independent stability. Wow, that was really long. It's already been an hour. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I knew this was going to happen today. I did. Alright, I think we'll do the past. I'm just trying to pick a deck for the past. I usually do different decks. And the bottom of this deck is the world. Holy... I love when the Wheel of Fortune and the world kind of goes hand in hand, right? Because to me, like I said, working up 9 of Earth, you know, I feel like it's like once you make it through and you get that wheel to turn all the way and you see what you're supposed to see, don't get stuck at the top of the Ferris wheel, and you get to this point, you know, oh, I get chills. That's gonna be it. This is like signifying another checkpoint. So this is like level 6. Level like 8-4, right? That you're in right now, the end. You're about to like beat Bowser and go on to World 7. But you have to do this first before this cycle can end. Yeah, before you can truly move on. Like you're getting there but before you get the actual like the good tower, the disruption to your life, where you, this is all great because these are very in order steps. This is wonderful. You're checking off at the 4 of Wands. That's great. Okay. I'm gonna put my little A over here someplace. Kind of getting in the way. That's fine. Alright. Perfect. Alright. I'm gonna use my new deck for the past. I like it. It was on sale, so I'm not gonna complain. It's similar to the other gold one I have, but they're much thinner. Still good quality. The detailing is not nearly as good, but I like them. They feel good and they're pretty, so yeah, they feel really good. They're just, if I didn't have that one first, I would be in love with these. The other one, they just have like this weight to them. These two, it's odd enough, once I start shuffling and stuff, they start to feel heavier. But those are like solid. Okay, thank you, Spirit. I'm just gonna lay these down. When I clarify, we'll pull them, okay? So don't get ahead of yourself here. Thank thank you very much for, I don't even know if I should post this. Post it with a warning. I am who I am, guys. People see this sign and be like, oh, it must be a pick card. No, it's just me. I'm so lazy I might Instacart. I don't want to go out. It's so nice also. I don't care. I'm so tired. Like my body, not my mind. Okay, thank you, Spirit. We're going to, take a look at the past and what brought us to all this, like, awakening almost. What caused us to start opening our eyes, to the people and things around us. To, make our happiness be the most important. Maybe for the first time ever. Maybe not. I kind of feel like this is almost a back on track type of thing for you. Maybe you're way stronger than you were before. Maybe you're more further along on your journey than you were before. But I feel like you've had a true sense of, like, actual self and confidence and not cockiness and not conceited. Like, I feel like you do kind of have at the core of you a sense of self. So that's why I think you're able to do this in such a almost methodical, but it's not. It's just kind of unfolded that way for you, but you've noticed because you're like, oh yeah, that's right, this feels right, you know, and you've kind of had something to, like, pull back on, like, remember. I don't know what that is for any of this, but it's not like you've been, like, I don't think you've been, like, destitute your whole life, or, like, survival mode your whole life. Like, I'm not saying you're rich, I'm not saying you're well off by any means or anything like that, but I'm just saying inwardly, even if you were, in poverty, your spirit was always bright, has always been bright. Does that make sense? You always knew, like, your environment didn't matter, like, you were something. People maybe have pecked at that over time as it happens, but in your initial, you didn't have to learn it, you came in with it. Maybe because you needed it. You may have been allowed to come in with that sense of self because you needed it from such a young age to ground yourself, and remind yourself that of your worth because other people weren't doing it around you, even when you were little. I feel like, okay, maybe not. Maybe that's only for some people. Definitely don't take it if it's not for you. Not be like, my parents, okay. Like, no one's yelled at me yet, but I hear other readers say people yell at them. Like, I don't understand how people yell at you. If it's for everybody, that's crazy. People are funny. People are funny. Oh, we got the strength again. The strength came out as the love. Remember that love was a lion? Something happened. we get Strength, the Hermit, and Justice, and something notable, the Ten of Swords. So there was a painful ending. Even if you decided to put the ending to it, because sometimes I take the Ten of Swords as you, like, I've had it, and you put the ending to it. Even if you did it, it's still not an ending you wanted to have to do. So we have Strength, the Hermit, Justice, with the Ten of Swords being something notable. So there was an ending. So like I said, okay, so beginning with the Strength, since that's the first one that came out, like I said about the Strength before, it's something that's learned. It's something that you kind of accumulate over time. So me asking what led up to where you are right now, I don't know if you had to I feel like you realized how much you were pulling on it, right? Like, I have a serenity prayer because my mother used to say it all the time, like when I can see, like, grant me the serenity to accept things I cannot change the things I can't, you know what I mean? Like, I was acting up or something. I feel like, I still don't know what, sometimes it's not a thing. Like, I'm not getting the lightning bolt. I'm not getting, like, a thing that happened again. I think this is a very quiet, very natural story I'm telling about evolution that you're going through. I think you realized how much you were having to pull on that gentle strength for other things. No, I can't give you a ride. No, you can't borrow $2 for your bus. No, you can't. Right? Not meanly. Not calling anybody out. But no, you can't have half my lunch because you forgot yours again. No, I don't have a tampon. Hi, that's me. I am always asking people for tampons. Like, Mom, Maggie, Mom. No, I don't have one. You know, those things that kind of float the irresponsible people along. Gentle strength to say no. And it's not easy. It's not easy. I feel bad sometimes when I say no to, like, my daughter. I'm like, why do I feel bad? And then I almost want to, like, backtrack and be like, well, maybe, gentle strength within myself, be like, don't do it. Don't do it. She doesn't need a coffee. Right? Like silly shit like that, like a coffee, not like big things. But those are things I think you started kind of like seeing. So because the healing you've done to be able to do that, I think you went right into hermit mode and started kind of like assessing the situation and trying to figure out a solution because you didn't feel good. Once you realized it, I think you notice it every single fucking time. Every time anybody passively, well, if you wouldn't mind, type of, you know, like, wait a minute, you're fucking doing that. because you're like priming me. Oh my god. Oh my god, I never see you unless you need something from me, and then you'll talk to me, and then I'll never see you again. Some people don't do it on purpose. Some people are surviving, right? And they're like, oh, this person can do it. And they don't mean harm, they don't dislike you. You can just do what they need. And they need it. There's those people. And then there are other people who know, like, oh, I just talked to her for a couple minutes, she'll do it. I was told that once about something when I was younger. I never forgot it. I really tried so hard to not be unaware when someone was bullshitting me about being nice to me. I was like, okay. Thank you for telling me that. And I feel like your conclusion was the only way to change things. The only justice would be to put an end to it, to those behaviors. And then start another day, which then coincides with when you get to the world over here. Like, that makes sense, because you want to put an end to this. You put an end to this, and you're working towards the completion of the chapter. Right? And it's justified. You know, justice is balance. You don't want anything more than what you deserve. And you realize you're not getting that. But, you know, if you had assessed it 2 years ago, you wouldn't have done anything about it. You would just been like, you would just know it. And now you're like, psh, gentle strength. Which is perfect, because then bringing us to start over here with the Two of Pentacles, you're like, okay, I need to put an end to this. And now you're like, okay, so how do I put an end to this? What do I need to look for? And that brings you into assessing the people walking that path of the moon. I love this reading, you guys. This is very storybook. Look up, turn the pages. Alright. Bottom of this deck is the Four of Pentacles, which can be, you know, like kind of hoarding. Which makes sense, right? For that line, because you're just realizing, you were just realizing everything, and you're like, wait a minute. I feel like you're realizing these things. I don't think you're bringing it up yet, like I said, because you're assessing and you want to see how people act literally on their own devices. You don't want them to know that you feel this way. So I feel like you're holding your motives close, but you're also holding your money close, and you're also holding your time close, and you're also holding your energy close to see just what happens. Yep. Whew. Okie dokie, Spirit. Let's see. I think I'll do this one, because this one was working with me this morning too. And the other one, again, you can't see it. Isn't different enough of a vibe that I was going to use. Alright, let's do, we're going to do a little peek into the future. Maybe I should do past, present, and future in 3 different videos. Oh my god! Maybe I should do a create your own story video, right? Guys! Let's do it. Let's fucking do it. I gotta figure out how to do it, but I'm gonna do it. Just you wait. That's such a good idea. I'm still working. I have this idea I told you about, the relationship paths following the chakra centers. Either way, I'm working on it. Again, I have to get like perfection paralysis out of my way. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm trying to debate whether I want to write, draw, or if I want to do something on like Canva or something with pictures. I don't know. I'm figuring it out. Oh, that face feels good. I'm right on, literally, I can see the ocean. I'm sorry, I can see the river that empties into the ocean about a block down. I can walk to the ocean in 4 minutes. So it's nice when there's like the heat waves and stuff like that. 8 of Cups. I'm gonna pull the cards. I'm sorry, I'm talking. That was like, shut up. That was like, what? 8 of Cups was like, walk away from whatever you're about to say. Shut up. It's too late at this point, guys. This is a wash of a reading. This is a rambling reading. Maybe I'll title it that. This is a rambling reading. Drawings on these cards, it's Phantom, I think it's called a Phantom deck. I can't help but to think they look like the kids from the Magic School Bus growing up. So, you're welcome if you have that deck, and now you do too. Plot twist, they're all inside the human body right now. I'll use this for my health card. My health deck. Alright, so for your future, we have 9 of Wands, 6 of Wands, the Magician, and 10 of Wands. Interesting vibe switch, huh? Well, because now I think you're in action, right? The past was you know, coming into your power to the point enough where you started noticing things that weren't aligning with you, and kind of figuring that out a little bit. Hermit, wanting your balance and justice, and deciding you had to put an end to things that were causing you to feel this way. And once you did that, then you figured out, how do I do this? Assessing the situation, assessing the people around you, carefully looking at the things that, you know, the universe has illuminated and put in front of you. Like, hey, look at this. Like, oh yeah, interesting. You know, and by doing that, you will solidify your independence and your stability. Perfect. Close that chapter. So now in the future, the Nine of Wands, it's a lot of work to sustain. Right. But the Six of Wands is telling me, you know, even though you've had some, like, battles through this, you're coming through victorious. Even so, to the point where people are, like, acknowledging your victories, you know. So some people are like, wow, you've changed a lot since last time I saw you, you know, like things like that. I'm like, oh, do you see how so-and-so? And you're like, oh, I don't really hang out with them anymore. And they're like, oh, really? And you're like, yeah. And people are like, oh. And you're kind of seeing, like, again, I'm not seeing the people around you are bad, you know, but maybe they're just are what they are, and people are like, well, they're not really going to do much more than that, and it's just kind of an accepted thing, and it's not a big deal, and it's not bad, and no one cares, and no one says anything. But you doing something different is making you shine a little differently, right? And they're like, oh, well, what are you doing? Right? And now they're like, what are you doing, though? So they're taking interest. You know, because you haven't given up at this point. The Nine of Wands is saying, yeah, this has been a tough road. And you're like, what the hell? No one told me once. I'm like, oh, I want to do this. It's going to be so hard and make me want to quit all the time. But you haven't. That's what it's saying, is you aren't giving up. And because of that, you're on your way to this, you know, even personal victory of people noticing the change in you. Because not too long ago, you didn't even think you had to change, because you might even be like leaps and bounds better than you were 10 years ago, but nowhere near what you could be, right? And now I think you're realizing that, like, holy shit, I can do whatever. I am worth it, smart enough, you know, whatever. And that brings us to the Magician. And, like, I think you're realizing you have a lot more tools for success than you realize. And maybe that's because the people are telling you, I always knew you would be different. I always knew you would do it. I always knew you would figure it out. I always knew you would turn your life around. You know, if you're hearing these things, this is probably for you. I always knew you had it in you. But you didn't. Like I said, I think you were born with this light. And if you were born not being able to shine it and care for it and nurture it the way it was supposed to, even though, yeah, you may have felt like you had, like, these visions of grandeur and this overinflated ego, and people may have taken you as cocky, and you're like, no, I have no reason to feel this way, but I know, like, what I am. And that's because you knew what you were. Right? It just took you to gain enough gentle strength to do some things that are uncomfortable, and set up boundaries that are uncomfortable, and walk away from things that are uncomfortable. It's gentle because there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. Taking care of yourself and doing what's right for you. And then something notable about the future is the Ten of Wands. So we went from the 9 to the 10, to the completion. You know, yep, it's hard, but you're not giving up. And because you haven't given up, people are noticing you, which makes you notice you, which gives you that, like, like this Ten of Wands is like carrying the wands to the finish line. You're not like pushing like you can't do it. You're like, you know what? I do got this. Let's go. And you like throw them up there and bring it to the end. Yeah, it's something. It's like even all along this path, like figuring out you have to do something, assessing what you have to do and doing it, you know, getting to solid enough that you're at your stability and now you're pushing forward. That's awesome, man. Like, this is like very linear and clear. You know, and it's your passion. But I think your life and you, that's why I don't think it's saying it's not telling me what you're doing. I don't know if this is about your job. I don't know about your love life. I don't know about anything. This is totally about you. And yes, it's saying these things happen to make you do this. And I'm giving you examples of what those things can be, but I don't know what they are to you. But you do, right? You know, and like I said, so this is like your passion, and it's like you're your passion. I feel like you're really, everything you're deciding, every step you're taking, every whatever, is this what's best for my path? Remember I told you about how the Wheel of Fortune, it's like a crossroads, which way you're gonna turn the wheel. And I think this is showing you when you've been forced with those decisions, you're acing it. You're getting through the maze, so to speak. You've made great choices, and that's why you're carrying those wands and not pushing them. Yep. Nine of Cups, yeah, that just pops out, so I'll note it. Nine of Cups is self-fulfillment, ultimate self-fulfillment. Where was the Ten of Cups? Were you after the Ten of Cups someplace? And the first, like, the 10, yeah. So you have a 10 of Swords out here. You get the 10 of Water. You have the 10 of Wands. You have the World. And you have the Wheel of Fortune. That's a lot of, changes, right? And completions, but it makes sense the way it flowed, right? It's kind of like in order. It's not overwhelming. It's not all at once. I think that would be a tower if it was, if it was everything at once. But you very much listen to your guides, even if you don't realize you did. You have really great guides who really know how to maneuver you. King of Swords. Where was the King of Swords before? Didn't we pull him already? No. The King of Swords came out in the first ones that I said I wasn't going to use, remember? The one that looked like Robin Williams. Which is odd because the very first card that came out was the Wheel of Fortune and the Robin Williams King of Swords that I put back. And then the first card that came out was the Wheel of Fortune again. I was like, oh, well, that's confirmation. And now the very last is the King of Swords. And remember we discussed the trajectory of the queens to the empress and how you go through the kings and everything. And so I think by the time you get to this 10 of Wands, like you're feeling like you're sitting in your King of Swords energy, which is really like you're not doubting yourself. You know you're smart, you have the intellect, you have the know-how, you have you have this enlightenment about you. You have truth and clarity, and you know how to rule your kingdom, and you know what to say, and you know what to do, and yeah. So because of that, you can use that and learn how to get rounded, because again, I feel like the Pentacles will be the last king before the Emperor. So if we're just talking about it loosely right now, I'm not saying that's the case for this story, but I feel like that's the next king. To me. Disclaimer. Okay. This is so long. I don't know if I'm going to clarify this. I don't think I'm gonna, but I'm gonna take a little look and we'll do a little recap. And I'll do some stuff and I'll come back because I had a lot of fun with this one today. Okay. So we started out talking about your vibe, which lasted for the majority of this reading, pretty much. Things are changing. You're finding your independence, your gentle strength. You're going after your ultimate happiness. That's what matters to you. So the recent past, we're feeling like what has kind of set this into motion is you realizing just how much you have to use gentle strength without knowing it on a day-to-day basis with people and situations and at your job and at your house and at your friends, and that kind of peck at you, that you're kind of like no, like you're noticing, even if you don't say no yet, you're noticing the times you're like, again, like you wish you could say no, right? Yeah. So you're like, oh, hold on a minute, let me think about this. And you're kind of going through your files and you're like, what about this person? And this person, and this co-worker, and whatever, you're doing a little assessment, and you're kind of finding things don't balance out. You have your scale of justice and it is not balancing out, and you're finding there's an awful lot of swords in your back, so you're gonna put an end to it, and you're kind of like, you've decided this, things are gonna change, where you're kind of putting keeping it to yourself at first, so you can assess the situation and see what exactly it is that you have to do to put an end to this. So you're doing that, seeing your pros and cons, the yin and yang, what's our relationship like, what is this situation like, that type of thing. And you're trying to figure out who's genuine, who isn't, who's in for themselves, who's, all these things, what situations are bringing me abundance, what is draining my energy, do I like my job, you're just doing a whole life assessment, because once one thing was like, wait a minute, well, if this is like this, what's everything else? And I think that's part of the moon too, but you're taking your time, it looks like, and you're following that path step by step and figuring out, looking at everything the moon's illuminating, you know, because it's going to be shadows, so you're going to have to get up close. You can't just blow past it. That makes you stable, because I think you realize I am the stable one. People might make you feel like you can't do things on your own, or you can't be independent, because if you are independent, you won't be available to them anymore, right? It goes back to how they don't want the change. Yeah, so you're figuring out all these little things to put in place, the moves to get to your stability and close this cycle, and close, like, you're ready, like, you've grown up, like, you're ready. This doesn't work for you anymore. Sometimes people take, like, being the go-to person, or taking care of everybody, or being the first one to be like, I'll take care of it, or being like, I'm the perfect mom, I'm the perfect wife, as that badge of honor. You know, and then when you realize this sucks, that I've set this precedent, I've set the bar so high, because now you feel like you have to sustain it and not crack even more. So what you were reaching for was unsustainable, but you kind of were able to make it look like you did, but now keeping that going, it's not going to work, and now you're going to crash, because now you feel like shit because you couldn't do it. No one cares if you're perfect. That's what you have to learn. No one cares if you're perfect. Just be true and real and honest, and try your best, and don't be an asshole. And don't do shitty things to people. That's all. Be good to your kids. Don't do shitty things to your kids. That's all. Don't do shitty things to strangers. Don't be mean to people for no reason. Mind your business and take care of yourself. Yeah. So, once you decided on that and you realized the path you needed to take, you did. And it was hard, and it's going to be hard, but you don't give up. And people see the change in you. They will see it. You know, in another future reading, that could be bringing in opportunities for you, but we're not even talking about the opportunities this change can bring, you know what I mean? Because I don't think that's the purpose. We don't want you to change so the opportunities will come in. It's very much how I'm reading this, because there's no reward to you other than yourself. So I think this is just learn your worth and gentle strength. And if you do that, you know, once people start noticing that you're changing and you're doing good, and like I said, I always knew you would do that. I always knew. You weren't like your friend, or you, like, that's what I'm hearing, like, things like that. And you're kind of like, at first, because you still like your friends. I don't think you dislike your friends. I just think their way is not, like, serving you anymore, or something like that. So at first you're kind of like, wait a minute, what do you mean? And you're like, yeah, I get it. Because you're on that step, and you can see the weeds, and you can see who else's head's popping up. So, yeah. And again, once people start saying that to you, and you're like, what do you mean you knew I could? Like, so you did see something in me. Other people do see something in you. And now you're realizing it. It's not you hyping yourself up to fake your confidence. Like, there's a reason for you to have confidence. Now you gotta find out what it is. Because if everybody else sees it in you too, there's something going on. 10 of Wands. Bringing that lesson to the end, baby. Feeling like the King of Swords. Like, alright. Let me tell you everything I learned. Awesome. I think this is good. I think this is great. it's not going to be comfortable setting boundaries with your friends. But again, you don't have to be mean. You can just be like, listen, I'm doing what I want. If you don't like it, tough shit. I feel like you've been friends with them for a long time, and if they don't like it, they'll get over it eventually. They're not gonna not talk to you. They're gonna go be pissy, and they'll probably keep trying to keep things the same. And once they see you serious, and they see you doing good, if they care about you, they're gonna be happy you're doing good, and they're gonna stop being selfish. It's just the initial sting of ripping the Band-Aid off. For most people, I think most people around you will probably fine. They're probably just lazy and no ambition, and that's fine. But I think you do have ambition. I think you did have ambition, and I think kind of you went, and you're like, wait a minute, this doesn't feel right. Let me get back on it again. And we do that many times in our life, so don't feel bad about that. I fuck up all the time. I've had so many jobs. And jobs aren't the only way you can fuck up, and please understand. Okay, guys. Thanks for bearing with me this one. I'm gonna put a lot of effort into the chakra one. I'm gonna put so much effort into my earth signs reading. And those ones will be really long too, so we can spend so much time together. Okay, well, I hope everybody has a great day. I'm really gonna try to stay focused and get this shit done. Like and subscribe if you're feeling my vibe, and I'll see you on the next video.